It's Sanderson to Barnes. Takes the shot. Scores! Stu Barnes!
He's on the line right now, joining us at the Instigators. Stu Barnes. We had to. How you doing, Stu?
I'm well, guys. How we doing this morning?
We're doing great. It's 50 degrees here. Gray skies, getting a little cold, but it's hockey weather. Hockey's back. You're going to be in town on Saturday.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I've been back for about a year and a bit now, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, you still keep in touch with a lot of guys from back in the day here?
You know what? I run across somebody every now and then. You know, the good news nowadays with text messages, you can always keep up and see what's going on. But yeah, a few of the guys are still touching base, that's for sure.
Awesome. Where are you living right now? What are you doing?
You know what? I'm down in Dallas. I obviously got traded from there to here, and just kind of ended up sticking around, playing and coaching and doing some stuff now, and ended up, once you're in a place long enough, you know how it goes. You end up dropping roots.
Yeah, let's talk about when you arrived here. Tough start when you first arrived here in your first 17 games, but that was a year. That must have been a year for the ages for you.
Yeah, it was. It was. It was funny. They brought me in to score because had scored a little bit the years previous and showed up and couldn't put one in the back of the net for 17 straight in regular season, and I think it was another 7 or 8 in playoffs at least, and then. Once it got going, it was fine, but I know we're sitting beside Razor. He would remind me every day because I got traded for Barney. So he made sure he brought it up every day and reminded me that the heat was on.
Well, let me ask, what does that do? I mean, you get traded, you get brought in to score. I mean, you ended up scoring in the playoffs. You had great years after that. What was that like for you? Talk about the frustration. Was there any? Was there, were you breaking sticks after practice? What's going on? Because that's got to be tough on the mindset at the time.
Yeah, all of the above. I think I think all of us are, we don't play at that level without, challenging ourselves and having some pride in our game. And it was frustrating. But you know what? It got to the point where I just thought if I could do as much as I could away from the puck and without scoring, making sure I defended well. Defended well and created offense in other ways. Eventually it would come, and thankfully it finally did. And after that, everything was fine.
So a complete and utter stud ball coming out of junior hockey. I'm looking at your stats. I'm like, what is going on here? 144 points, 141 points. Unbelievable. You get drafted 4th overall to Winnipeg.
I guess he's... Oh, hold on. Hey, Stu, he must be ignoring your rookie year in the WHL where you had 101 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. Holy jumping. I didn't even look at that one. That is amazing. Yeah, they give points out there, though. But, I mean, you have Winnipeg, Florida. You spent some time in Pittsburgh, obviously Buffalo and Dallas. Is there a spot that really kind of you enjoyed your time the most? One.
You know what? You guys know you get asked this as players, and I think I really do give kind of the politically correct answer. Every spot that I was in, I think for me was a positive. Going to Winnipeg. The young guy coming out of a small town in Alberta was great because it was very much like where I grew up, and it wasn't a big shock to the system. So, and then getting a chance to go to Florida was an expansion team. Roger Nielsen was the coach. He was great. It was a good bunch of guys, really good bunch of guys. We were a tight group, and that's kind of where I finally, realized, hey, I could play in this league. And then, Pittsburgh got a chance to score and play with some great players there. Buffalo was tremendous, being captain and being part of that community was awesome. And of course the cup run in '99, and then finishing down here, we ended up with the kids through school and all that good stuff. So really, it was I feel like I was a pretty lucky guy as far as where I played. You played with some
of the greatest players ever.
Yeah, I was lucky. I got a chance to play with some guys over the years and watch firsthand how good they were. Mario Lemieux and Yager and Ronnie Francis and. Got to see Teemu Selanne score 76 my second year in Winnipeg. They called me up in January, and I dressed every night, but I'd play about 2 shifts a night, and I'd sat there and watch him score about 40 goals in the second half of the season. So it was a lot of fun.
It must have been amazing cruising the ice with Joe Sorella in Florida. He was my coach. He was my coach in junior. He was awesome. He's awesome guy.
He's a great guy. Great guy. I just saw him actually at the draft this year. You know what? Every time I see him, we always end up chatting for a long time. He's a great guy.
He is. He really is. Listen, I said something. I told Larry Playfair last night. I said something. We did like a season preview for the Sabres 50th, and I ask you this because you played with him, but obviously, you know, Gilbert Perreault is Mr. Sabre. But I you know, and I don't know if it's controversial, but it's you know, I'm sure. I personally, Dominik Hasek might arguably be not just the greatest goalie, maybe the greatest player to ever play in the NHL. And I said I think he's the greatest Sabre of all time. Do you think that your team, with any other elite goalie other than Dominik Hasek, goes to the finals in '99?
Oh, I tell you what, it'd be a steep road if he wasn't there. Like he was, you know, I always say with Dom, it was hard to score him. You know, obviously other teams couldn't score him, but it was hard to score him in practice. I mean, you know, in practice normally at some point goalies are going to give you a few, but he wouldn't give you anything in practice. Like it was amazing. And the first, I'll never forget the first warm up I had coming into Buffalo. I went from Pittsburgh. You know, and you know, like most places, you respect the goalies and you kind of tone it down in a warm up. But first warm up, guys are coming around the top of the circles and blasting slappers, and Dom, I couldn't believe it, but Dom loved it. He wanted that. He wanted the heat. He wanted the pressure. And but what a player! He changed the position. He played it differently. He played it obviously extremely well, and he's a heck of a player.
Did players? I don't know. Did it get annoying after? Like, did you almost feel? Because sometimes when a guy like that gets that much credit, did players at the time, was there any animosity toward? Was it kind of like, hey, you know, there are 19 other guys dressed every night, or?
No, I think guys were just happy to have a guy like Dom back there. I think he obviously you make a mistake, he cleaned up the mess and everything that, you know, that gave up an opportunity against her. He was always there, and you know what? The one thing about him is he was such a competitor. Like I said, practice games didn't matter. Like he did not want anything in his net, and he made sure it wasn't going to happen. And no, he was awesome.
I asked Craig this question. Craig played. Did you ever have to bump into Old Man River in front of the net a couple times?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, tell me a story. Tell me a story about Riv, please, because I played against him. I know what he's all about, so you can say whatever you want. Anything goes here.
I don't remember anything specific, but I'm sure I've got a few bruises on the back and the side from taking a few from him.
Yeah. I feel like every time we have someone on, it's always about my cross check in the back or something. But my claim to fame, I guess.
I don't know. Maybe somebody blocked one of your shots in the power play.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
No, but my point of asking this, my point of saying that, Stu, was I asked Craig this because he played 923 regular season games in the NHL. You played 1,136. You had 2 stints to the finals. You had a great career. I mean, you had an unbelievable career, but I asked players not to rub it in, but to, you know, is there anything left kind of on the table because you didn't win a Stanley Cup?
Yeah, well, I think every player, you know, I think most guys would answer the same. I think you always want to win. You know, I went to the finals twice. Once in Florida in 96, where we lost to Colorado 4 straight. They were just way better than us. I mean, we had a great team and we accomplished a lot, but ultimately when it got down to it, they were just a really, really good team and really deep and probably were better than us. You know, and I think the one that's tough is Buffalo going in 99 and having that run and getting that close and knowing if we could have extended it one more game, then we had a real good chance to win it. And you know what that would mean to that community to win a cup. You know, that would be it would be awesome. And you know, and then people have asked me about going and being there and all that, and the same question you asked. But my answer is like once you get over the sting of losing in the finals, and you know, you get a month in the summer and you kind of take a deep breath and you look back and you think, holy cow, was that ever fun? Like I can't imagine winning one, because just getting the opportunity to almost win one is an unbelievable experience. And yeah, so, you know, short answer, yeah. You know, you want to win a cup. You want to be a part of something and win. And you know, obviously as a player first and foremost, but if you can do it in another role as a coach or something else, that would be pretty great as well.
Stu Barnes joining us here on the line. I don't think he needs an introduction other than Stu Barnes that we did off the start of the show, the great RJ call. I don't want to. I feel like I'm pouring salt in wounds here, but I got to ask you. You know, like you say, the sting. You know, and look, I mean, we're not taking shots at no goal and all that stuff, but the no goal, I mean, that still burns here. I mean, a lot of people.
Oh, 100%.
That'll never not burn in this city. It'll be because it's the biggest ball drop by the NHL in the history of the game. Was that no call?
Yeah, I mean it's I mean obviously it stings being part of it and being on the ice. I remember just sitting on that bench, kind of looking out in disbelief, like, did this really happen? Like, we went through a whole year of this, and then now this happened. So, yeah, you know what? It's any of us that played, we feel it was no goal. But again, what do you know? It was a tough one for sure.
Can you take us into the locker room? I mean, we've asked Mike Pekka about it. He was the captain at the time. He was on the bench trying to get the attention of the referee and stuff like that. What was going on in the locker room? Because eventually you guys went into the room, and then what's going on inside the room?
Yeah, I mean, it was chaos. I mean, it was kind of, everybody was in disbelief and chaos. So again, I mean, you're in a game and you're in a series and you're so deep into it, you just kind of, you're diving in 110%, and then all of a sudden it's over. So there was a lot of confusion, and we weren't sure what was going to happen, and obviously disappointment for sure.
Yeah. With the amount of games that you played and teams that you played for, there has to be some very memorable moments. Is there one that sticks out to you in your career that is probably your best moment in the game?
Well, I think I think we all kind of have, as players, you have different things that mean different things. I got a chance, like I said, to play with some great players in Pittsburgh, and that was always fun. I think, your first game you always remember. I think 1,000 games was a big one for me. I was excited when that happened, and and then the chances in the finals, getting a chance to go to the anytime in playoffs, when you're in playoffs and you can advance and move on and be a part of a group, it's pretty special. So I was pretty lucky that way.
Well, I mentioned before you came on that there's one thing that I remember about you, and it's not a funny thing. It's a pretty cool thing, and I want to just make sure I have my facts straight, because there's one word that always runs alongside with Stu Barnes, and that's class. Now this story will either prove that or not. I don't know, but I remember you were in a contract negotiation with the Sabres, and you came to training camp without a contract. Is that right?
You know what? I think I was still under contract. I think I showed up. We were doing it, but I still was under contract. I don't think I was there without it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it was. Yeah.
So it wasn't like your contract. Someone messaged me and said, ask Stu if he came to camp without a contract and skated and practiced before he signed. And I wanted to ask you because the guy played in the league and thought that was something that was interesting because of we just talked about RFAs all the way up here and hold out some training camps. So it's just it's rare to see guys. But I guess if it were the next year where your contract expired, you probably would have held out, eh, Stu?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I was always one of those hockey nerds. Like, I just wanted to play. I was like, this is awesome. I get to play in the NHL, and you're going to pay me too. That's great. I just wanted to play all the time as much as I could, and I was just enjoyed playing the game. It was a lot of fun.
Well, listen, I don't know many guys that have a rink named after them.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that was Yeah, it's a pretty cool deal in my little hometown. So
hometown of Spruce Grove, Alberta. So is it called the Stu Barnes Rink?
Stu Barnes Arena, yeah. Yeah, Grant Fury's right beside me. Fury's got Grant Fury Arena attached literally to the same building I'm in, so it's pretty cool.
Is his a little bigger than yours? I just joking.
It is. He's got his is a great big. Actually, the one I grew up in, the one next door, was the one. But yeah, he's obviously a big part of that community as well.
Stu, you're going to get a hell of a reception here on Saturday night. Enjoy the night, well deserved, and those are stews, not booze. And thanks for your time today. Great career, class act, and wish you all the best in the future.
Awesome, guys. We'll see you this weekend.
All right, sounds good.
Stu.
Yep, Stu Barnes, kind enough to join us here on the Instigators. And